You can love it or hate it, but it's major, it's major. What's up, Twin FL? It's your Belle, and I'm back. This time with a review of the Real Housewives of Atlanta. I have so many years invested in watching this show, and I really love it. So I've always wanted to do some reviews, but I've always put it off. So I know this one is late as well, but the next ones moving forward are definitely going to be on time. So thank you for joining me, and without further ado, let's get into it. Okay, so the first scene opens with Nene. Marlo walks into Nene's swag boutique and they immediately start to talk about Cynthia's thank you card. Cynthia's thank you card was actually an invitation to the Bailey wine cellar so that she and Nene could sit down one-on-one, talk out their differences, and kind of hash it out one last time. Honey, if I was Cynthia, I would just let it go. You don't have a reason to still want to be friends with her. You don't even have a reason to want to be cool with her. I don't care if you guys do have to share the same space. You do not have to be friends. You do not have to be cool. And she has more than demonstrated that throughout your time as friends. So, yes, I would just let it go. It's not something that you should pursue. She's one of those friends that you have to watch. She doesn't want the best for you, and she doesn't want to see you do good. She's very jealous, and for whatever reason, she is miserable. Anyways, they discuss it a little bit more in the car, and then Nene ends up giving a little bit of insight into her leopard brunch, which was brilliantly renamed the Jungle Brunch. I really think it's a great idea anytime you can get a lot of women together to do something positive. So kudos to Nene for that because that's really positive and I can really respect that. Moving on to the next scene is Cynthia and Kenya at Moore Manor. I absolutely love her home. More than the actual structure, I love that she got in there and got down and dirty and built it herself. She got in there with the guys and the hammers and the nails, which is something that I would absolutely never be able to do because I come out all swollen and really messed up. But anyway, Cynthia tells Kenya about her upcoming meeting with Nene. So Kenya says, well, you might as well eat dinner with me. And Cynthia says, well, we'll see how this turns out, just to let Kenya know that there's about to be a little bit of smoke about that stunt she pulled at lunch the other day with the other women. Can I say that during that time, I do think that Tanya handled herself very well. There's one thing about me. I'm not going to give somebody the satisfaction, especially not a miserable, husband-buying, drop-dead, gorgeous, buck and fitch like Kenya. And the cookie lady might be right. Paul might have an issue. Tanya might have some things that she needs to check on. But I would never find out from her because she came off like a hater. But anyway, they talked about how Kenya basically threw Cynthia under the bus when she lied and said that Cynthia invited the cookie lady there so that she could stir up some drama and so that she could spill that tea to Tanya. Cynthia did it really classy-like and a lot more classy than I would have done it because I would have been pretty pissed. You don't sit and lie on me to get your ass out of the fire. And that is where Kenya is like Nene as a friend. I'm not sure how Cynthia continues to attract people like this, but that is really, really horrible. And she's going to see one day that Kenya and Nene are a whole lot more alike than she actually recognizes right now. And I hope she doesn't find out through heartbreak. I hope she doesn't find out by Kenya just throwing her away and telling all her business on Mad Day the way Nene does, because that is the most horrible thing that you could do to someone that you called your sister. So Kenya goes on to apologize, which she should have. I wouldn't have let her off the hook that easy, but hey, that's what real friends do. They got over it. They went on and talked about Mike and his honesty about his infidelity in his past marriages and relationships. And me personally, I know for a fact that a person can change. Being faithful is not hard in a great relationship. All you have to do is just want to be faithful. And it's as simple as that. So, yes, honey, I'm a better woman today than I was yesterday. But that's a different story. A story you will definitely hear at a later date. Anyways, Kenya's opinion about it was right on point. It was the perfect thing to say to Cynthia at the perfect time, especially when you know you're talking to the runaway bride. Because Cynthia was calm, as she usually is. But the look on her face said, if my best friend tells me the right words or says the right words, I'm out of here. And she should be. That's the thing with me. I went straight to my man like, well, let me ask you this. If we had a meeting and I said that all of my friends were men and then 10 men showed up, would you marry me? Please. He didn't even consider, he didn't even think about what the relationships could be. All he thought about was 10 men and he flat out said no. And Cynthia should probably do the same thing. And I say that because this is a man who is employed in the sports field. And you're telling me that you don't have one or two male friends that can come to the cookout, come to the barbecue, come to the holidays? No, no. That's just, it's unrealistic for a man that works in sports. You do sports announcing, you work amongst men for the most part. There are women in the sports field that who have announcing jobs, but wasn't there it was not one woman there that I recognized that was actually someone who was a sports announcer or working in the sports field. Maybe, I don't know, somebody tell me, or if they see this, one of you ladies go ahead and chime in and say, yes, I do work with him. Because what it looks like is they are all potential girlfriends, period. If you have one woman, it's going to be hard, or one woman that's your best friend, it's going to be hard for me to be like, he's not going to take their relationship further, or she's not going to try to take their relationship further one day, either when she is in distress or him, Either way, someone could reach out to the other on a level that's totally different than what they displayed. And now it's like, oh my God, I'm sitting up here competing with somebody that's been there before me. And she's beautiful and she's smart and she has his heart in a way because he calls her his friend and he brings her around me. No, I just don't think that I could do it, Cynthia. If you hear this, just, just wait. Period. Just wait. I said it. I know that red flags are not what they're made out to be with the younger generation, and you're not supposed to run at the first sign of trouble if you want to have a real relationship. But girl, you don't get married at the first sign of trouble either. Like, it's just one of those things where you just stick around, until you get to know a person a little bit more. And that's it. But I'm just going to go ahead and move on because I don't want to spend too much time talking about that. So there were a couple small scenes, but nothing worth really talking about. Anyways, the next real scene is the meetup between Cynthia and Nene. And just to get right down to it, Nene says, I think that you were wrong for calling me a toxic friend. I saw nothing wrong with the comment because as far as being toxic in my life, you can't tell me whether you are toxic or not because it's about my own spirit. It's about the things that I feel. So if I'm uneasy around you, if you do things to me and then you blame it on me and you have a problem with taking accountability, you're toxic. If you call my husband a bitch, you are toxic, period. There's nothing else to discuss. There's no way you can get out of it. That's just how my life is set up. But anyway, Nene ends up playing the victim like she always does and walking away. And Cynthia said that she usually chases after her, and that's exactly what she did this time. It was no different. She went outside to talk to Nene, and Nene started hyperventilating and crying and giving us the whole waterworks. It wasn't even waterworks. It was really dry ice. Okay, it was just I didn't see tears, but I saw some type of emotion. So it just looked like it just looked like she was acting. Her eyes may have welled up maybe once or twice or once, but I really don't see it for her. It's her doing, she's the one that made people feel like this about her. And now she's trying to reverse it and change her image so that people will film with her. But I'm glad that Cynthia sees right through that too. I don't want to be your friend anymore if it's this hard. If it takes so much effort for me just to love you, and one day I'm a good friend and another day I'm not. I'm not about to be fooling with you. You are not going to have me second guessing my character when I know that I'm a good person, and you're not going to put it out in the world that I'm a bad person. That's just not going to happen. So whatever we have to do, if we have to be cool, we can be cool. But we are going to be cool from a distance. I'm not going through this. I'm not about to be explaining myself to somebody that I go out of my way to show you that I care about you and that I love you. It's not necessary. It's not necessary. They use the term sister way too loosely, but we'll get into that later. Moving on to the next scene, Marlo FaceTimes with Porsha, who is like, Porsha is my spirit animal. I mean, she might not be the brightest bulb or might not be the sharpest knife in the drawer at times, but she's still getting hers, and she's still living life to the fullest and living life on a level that a lot of people that call her dumb might not be able to live it. So she's talking to Marlo, and she's telling her, like, I'm really not feeling Nene's invite. Her invite was shady. We never even talked since the last time she threw shade at me, and she called me fat during my pregnancy and all of it. She really did her wrong during her pregnancy for somebody, once again, who you called a sister, big sister, little sister, big sister, little sister. Once again, they throwing around the term sister, and it's really pathetic, to call somebody your sister and then treat them that way. But moving on, Cynthia picks up Eva, and they discuss the meeting between Cynthia and Nene for a bit. But what's more interesting is that Eva is going into labor, or preterm labor, or you know what? She might be far enough along to where you don't call it preterm labor, but she's having contractions in the later part of her pregnancy, and they're coming close enough together where she should consider going to the doctor. But she said she just wanted to go to the brunch, so she was just going to hide it for a minute, as if you can actually hide having a damn baby. So I thought that was really cute and really funny. But when she told Jackie that she didn't want to go to the doctor, Jackie told Candy, well, I can show you how to deliver a baby. And Candy was like, no, ma'am, honey. They will be there any minute now. Any minute. So Cynthia tells Candy to let everybody know that she's taking Eva to the doctor so that she can get checked out and make sure that she's not having a baby if she's not, and to have the baby if she is, which it kind of looked like she was, but we'll find out, I guess, in the next episode whether or not she gave birth. So moving on to the next scene, Tanya and Candy show up for brunch, and it's not long before Kenya walks in. Kenya stayed there. She had a few words with the ladies, and she asked, maybe about 5 minutes into her stay there, she asked where Nene was, and they were like, she's late. She will be here, but she's late. And Kenya wasn't having it, and I'm right there with her. If I don't like you, why would I sit here and wait for you to Do what? Apologize to me or to just hear what you have to say about what? Like what? Because to my knowledge, she's not there to apologize to anyone. They're just invited to brunch, and she just basically wants everything to be about her. So Kenya got up and left, and I would have done the same thing. I would have got up and I would have left, period. If you want to talk to me personally, you can. But don't invite me to your event, and you're late and expect me to wait for you, and we really don't like each other. But Nene walks in about 2.5 hours late, which I don't even understand how Tanya and Candy were able to wait that long for her. I can't do it. If you don't respect my time, we can just not meet up. We can just not have we cannot do events together. Period. That's just the way that's gonna go. And then she walks in with a group of women that nobody knows. Like, these are my friends. These are the girls who've been supporting me for this whole time. And everybody knows that's some fake BS, especially Candy, because she called it out and I was so happy. But what I really wanted Candy to do was be like, you know what? Is this a Twitter party? Because I know y'all remember in like the one of the first seasons that Candy was on. Nene got up and walked out of one of her parties talking about it was a Twitter party and how she didn't want to be there with all of the Twitter people in her Versace and Louboutins and Gucci and stuff like that with a male stripper who was yada, yada, yada. If anybody is a real RHOA historian the way I am, you know exactly the party the pleasure party that I'm talking about that Candy had. But anyhow, I wish she did say something about this little Twitter party that Nene gave with all of these strange women or whatever, but she didn't, and she kept it classy, and that's just the way she is. She's just real mild-mannered. I'm not about to start no mess where there is none, and I understand that, but yes, I did want her to say Twitter party, perhaps. I did. And I would like to say that her blue confessional look was really, really pretty. It's one of my favorite colors, and I've never seen her rock it like that. So kudos to you for your confessional look in this one, Candy. But back to the Twitter party. Jungle brunch. I'm sorry. I don't mean to be shady. Marlo got there. She looked really beautiful. And at one point or another, Cynthia called or Eva called and said that, I forgot which one called, but they said that Eva is dilated 1 centimeter and it looks like she's going to have the baby. I'm not really sure, but through all of my experiences, whenever you're contracting that late in your pregnancy and you get to the doctor and you're dilated and you weren't before, that is a sign that you're going to have the baby. But anyways, back to the Twitter party. Jungle brunch. Jungle brunch. Who is this? Why she got her face all screwed up like that? I'm just trying to figure out, is this a women's empowerment event or an event where we're networking, or is she just trying to soak up somebody's business so she can go back and tell everybody? Because that's a real messy look I see right there. I'm not sure, but that's just a real messy look, and she is really, really on my radar. Anyways, Porsha shows up, of course, with that big booty walk. We gotta love Porsha. Hey, bitches, it's the young fine one in the house. I'm here. And she shows up in all of her glory with, I believe that was Shamia that was with her. And the conversation was short. It was cute. It was to the point. They didn't do their big makeup scene that we've seen in the previews. So I'm wondering if that's going to come next time or what's going on with that. I'm not really sure, but I guess we'll see on the next episode. The scene where she's like, it's been really hard without you, or Porsha was like telling Nene, it's been really hard without you, and I love you, and they were basically making up and becoming friends again. So we'll see if that is in fact on the next episode. But anyways, the brunch looks like it's concluding, and Nene is giving this fake ass toast to this fake ass sisterhood. And that's what I wanted to talk about. Truthfully, they do throw the word sister and sisterhood around very loosely. It's not something that should be played with when you call someone your sister. I have a twin sister, not just a sister, a twin sister. And we absolutely adore each other. She's like one of my favorite people in this whole world. So no, you know what? If you don't like her, you probably are not going to be my best. You definitely not going to be my best friend. And you're definitely not going to come around me talking badly or speaking negatively about my sister. And it's the same for her. If you don't like me, you're not going to come around her and talk badly about me and think that she's just going to sit there and chuckle it off, pull a Shawnee O'Neal and, hey, I'm your fake ass friend right now. I'm cool with you talking about my sister. It's not going to happen because real sisters don't act like that. And that is the difference between sisterhood and just a friendship or just an acquaintance or just an associate. So stop saying that you're sisters and sisterhood this and sisterhood that and to the sisterhood because you know damn well y'all ain't been more sisters than the man on the moon. And I'm glad Candy called it out about that sisterhood and fake brunch bull crap that Nene was trying to give us this episode because I'm really not here for Nene. I'm really not here for the fake. I really love the real, and I see that Candy is real, and she has been. A zebra never changes their stripes, so that's probably why she wore that zebra print for the jungle brunch, and I loved it. Loved every second of it. But that's all I have for this review. I will get to you guys next time in a more timely manner with my review of the Real Housewives of Atlanta. But thank you so much for sticking with me to the end. And if you like this video and you want to see more like them, go ahead, like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you next time. Hate it or love it, or you can love it or